Hello. Today I've got another science lesson for you. So I'm going to share my screen. And today is all about food again. It's actually made me a bit hungry going through this. So our objective today is, can I create a Roman meal? So we're going to take what we learned in the last lesson about different food groups, and then we're also going to look at some foods that the Romans would have eaten, and then you're going to come up with a Roman menu. So first of all, I've got these statements that we looked at last time, and I've taken out what food group they are. So at the top, you've got the names of the different food groups we talked about last lesson. So you can pause the video now and read through each box and see if you can remember which of the red food groups there you're reading about. Okay, so pause the video to see if you can match those up. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first one, this is our main source of energy. So every meal will have some in it. That one is carbohydrate. There we go. Full of vitamins and minerals that keep us healthy. They do everything from keeping our digestive system healthy to looking after our heart. Well, what is full of vitamins and minerals? Lots of different vitamins and minerals. That was fruit and veg. Then we've got essential for growth and repair in our bodies. Every cell in our body has this in it. That's a bit of a clue. So that one was proteins. This contains lots of vitamins and minerals as well as protein. Importantly, it also contains calcium. That was a good clue there, which your body needs for healthy bones and teeth. So calcium is in dairy. So that was that one. Oils and spreads contain this, and some vitamins need it in order to be absorbed into our bodies. But as we know, we don't need much, and it has to be the right sort. Well, it's not going to be water because we need lots of that, so it must be fat. And that means that the last one, we need this to keep us hydrated, help us digest our food, and to keep every cell in our bodies healthy. So that one was water. There you go. So hopefully you got those right. Okay, so what do we know about healthy meals, first of all? So what does a healthy meal need to have? So you can pause it now if you want to have a think about that question. Okay, so I'm saying a healthy meal, we need plenty of fruit and veg. So when we looked at that Eat Well plate last lesson that had the different sections on it, it had a big section for fruit and veg. We need plenty of that. We also need quite a lot of carbohydrate because of all that energy that it gives us. We need some protein and dairy. So not as much maybe as fruit and veg and carbohydrate, but we still need some in our diet. We only need a small amount of fat. We need plenty of water, and we do need fiber, which is good for digestion. Now, fiber we've not really talked about yet, but fiber is found in lots of different foods. So it actually comes into all of these other food groups that we've looked at. Fiber is something that you get in potato skins, so carbohydrate, or wholemeal bread. It's in some fruit and vegetables. It's in all sorts of foods. So we get fiber quite a lot. You might notice on your cereals, cereals have a lot of fiber in, and that will probably be on the box. It might say that it's got lots of fiber in. So that's a good one there too. Okay, so a healthy meal for us today might look something like this. So I've got your classic bit of fish or some chicken there, and then plenty of vegetables to keep us healthy. People that are in Pine class, there's some pomegranate seeds there. You might remember pomegranate from the story that we read, which was The Boy at the Back of the Class. Remember, they went and found a pomegranate. Can't say it though. And then obviously a nice bit of salmon there. That is making me hungry because that looks really nice with those potatoes. Anyway, what did the Romans eat though? So this is what a healthy meal to us might look like. but what do we think the Romans ate? Well, here we go. Now, at the top here, you can see I've got a key. So that means that these numbers are going to be on these cards I'm going to show you. So 5 means it's a really good source of this nutrient. So whatever this meal is, if it's a 5, it's got lots of that in it. 4 means it's pretty good. 3 is average. 2, it hasn't got very much of that in it. And 1 would be, it's hardly got any at all. Okay, so these are some genuine, real Roman dishes that Romans would have eaten. So we have got beef stew. That doesn't sound too weird, does it? We might have beef stew now, nice wintry stew. It's got protein, it gives it 5. So that means it's got lots of protein in it. So that would be good. Carbohydrate, not so much, but you could probably add potato to your stew and then you've got carbohydrate. Fat though, look, fat is 4. So that means it's a good source of fat, which obviously means it's got quite a lot of fat in it. So that's not great. Vitamins and minerals, again, that's only a 1. So that's a bit low for vitamins and minerals, and 5 is 2. So it's got lots of protein, but we're missing out on some other things that we might need. So with the beef stew, we might need to have something else on the side so that we could get some more vitamins and minerals in. So maybe a vegetable dish to go with it. This is called chitterlings, and this is pig's intestines. So if you remember last term, we learnt about intestines and how we have small intestine, large intestine. The Romans would have eaten this delicious meal of pig's intestines. So we can see that, again, lots of protein in there, but also quite a lot of fat and no vitamins and minerals. And hardly any fiber. So again, if we were going to have pig's intestines, we would need some fruit and vegetable to go with it. Okay, next up we've got some dormice in honey. Lovely. So the Romans did eat dormice. They're, very small. You would need quite a lot of them to fill you up. It probably would have been like a starter or a side dish. So they, again, lots of protein, because obviously these are all meats, so meats have got protein in. Carbohydrate in this one too, so that's good, a 4 for that. And then 1 for fat. So actually, if you're having your dormice, that's all right, it's not fatty. But again, you're going to need a side dish of something with vitamins and minerals in it. Okay, here we've got a 12-bird roast. 12 birds. That's where they do like a little bird inside a slightly bigger bird, inside a bigger bird, a bigger bird, a bigger, and they kept doing it until they had 12 birds as a roast. Blimey. So again, because it's meat, we've got 5 for protein, 2 for carbohydrate, 4 for fat. So this one's a bit fattier because some birds, like particularly duck, is quite a fatty bird. So that one's not great. And then again, we're lacking these vitamins and minerals. So, what's this? Pickled cheese. Lovely. So that gets a 4 for protein, 3 for carbohydrates, so that's better. 5 for fat though, so very fatty. This would be like a treat, maybe in winter when you need a bit of fattening up. Vitamins and minerals 4, so that's pretty good, isn't it? And fiber only a 1. So a little bit of that, maybe if you were sort of working outside a lot, that might be useful to keep you warm with your fatty cheese. Pancakes with milk, not a bad breakfast perhaps. So let's have a look at the stats. We've got a 2 for protein. That's, we're going to get our protein from somewhere else in the day probably. Carbohydrate 4, so that's good energy for if it was breakfast in the morning. But again, fat 5. So again, maybe that's for someone who's going to be working outside a lot, burning off that fat. Vitamins and minerals and fiber both 2. So lentil and chestnut meal. Lentils are really nice, like a good Indian dal, very nice. And chestnuts too, very nice. Together, I can see that working. It sounds all right. Maybe a bit dry, you need a decent sauce, but anyway. Protein 4, So again, not looking bad here. Fibre as well, 5. So that's a really good fibrous meal. So maybe if you were having that on the side of something that didn't have much fibre, so you could have your pig's intestines with lentils and chestnuts. Doesn't sound too horrendous. Then what's this one? Egg and cabbage. Like that doesn't really appeal to me. But protein is good there. Vitamins and minerals, again, really good. 5 and a 2 for fibre. So maybe you have that on the side with some dormice, and then you're getting lots of the things you need. Not particularly tasty, but there we go. Sprouts and walnuts. I'm a big fan of sprouts and walnuts, so I don't mind this. This sounds good. So we've got 2 for protein, low for carbohydrate and fat, so that's good that it's low in fat, obviously. And then again, lots of vitamins, minerals and fiber that we need, so that's another good side dish that we could have. And finally, roasted peacock. So this is going to have to be quite a wealthy Roman to afford peacock. And again, because it's a meat high in protein, no vitamins and minerals from that one though, and it is a little bit fatty, number 3 there. So you would need to have one of these nice sides to go with that, wouldn't you? So there you go. Those are some classic Roman dishes that you might have, and we can see how good for us they are. So let's think about creating a meal for a particular Roman. So here I have got a Roman senator, so someone quite important. And it says, what a lovely day I've just had. I spent most of it in the bathhouse at home. I don't like having to share with strangers in the town baths. The slaves added oils and perfumes to the water, so it was too easy to fall asleep in the warm pool. Soon it will be time for dinner. We're expecting guests, so I hope that the slave has put out my new toga. The cook has a special treat for us tonight, my favourite little sweet honey cakes. Even better, I've just had a delivery of the best red wine to wash it down. Let's hope the guests enjoy the meal. They won't have to do a thing. The slaves will bring everything to them and even peel their grapes. Goodness me. So obviously a senator is quite important and rich, and he's got lots of treats there that he's looking forward to. I actually have put a recipe for sweet honey cakes at the end of this lesson. I think I might try it because it's only got 3 ingredients. So I'll show you that at the end. So these, I was thinking, right, what would this kind of person then eat throughout the day then? What kind of meals might he have? So I thought maybe he'd have like a beef stew, perhaps, maybe for a lunch or something. And then probably like a bit of apple tart. He's probably going to have puddings because, you know, he can afford that. And maybe like his evening meal, he's probably going to have something like a roasted peacock, like something quite expensive like that. So that was just a few ideas that I thought. But I also have this menu for a Roman banquet. So this is like our big meal. So we've got like starters, first course, main course, third course, dessert. So they've got all these different things. And this has got lots of other ideas of things that the Romans might eat as well. Because we can see we've got our stuffed dormice in a honey and poppy seed dip. Nice. Sausages on a bed of pomegranates there. You've got your eggs with a baked blackbird fillet inside. Roast hare with crispy young pig in a rich wine sauce with giblets and blood pudding. Blood pudding. Not sure about that. Wholemeal bread there and beetroot. That's healthy. Nice. We could have, oh look, pork sculpted into the shape of a goose. Cheese basted with wine, surrounded by snails, chitterling, we know what that is, pig's intestines, and liver slices. That's a bit bleh. A roasted wild boar, that's not bad. Surrounded by pastry piglets. And what's this? Special surprise inside. A number of live thrushes will be released from within its belly to be caught and cooked to your requirements by our slaves. Interesting stuff. And there's some glossary words there. So that's an example. That's you don't have to create a menu that big. You can have like 3 courses or something, or you could do breakfast, lunch and dinner, but there's lots of more ideas on there of different dishes that you might have. So here's your task. You're going to create a menu for a Roman. You can either plan a day's food, like I said, or do a 3-course meal, so starter, main and pudding. Choose what Roman you're catering for and what their lifestyle would be like. So we read about the senator. He's going to have quite expensive meals, fancy stuff. But I've also got a Roman worker here. So this is a laundry worker, so he does all the washing and stuff. And he says, I'm always so tired from my work in the laundry. I could so easily fall asleep. I spend hours in a tub of urine, that's like wee, and water, trampling clothes to get them clean. At least I'm not a slave. At the end of the day, I go home to my own squalid little apartment. We poor people live on the top floor where there are no cooking facilities and no water. I get a few coins for my long hours in the laundry, which I usually spend at the hot food stall. So you need to think about choose what type of person your menu is for, or if you have time, you can do a menu for both of them. And think about what each person might have had. So you can go back to my page there where I've got all of those different ideas. You can pause it there, or you can pause it there, and use those ideas to help you. And then, as promised, here is a recipe for those Roman honey cakes. Now, these have only got 3 ingredients: 3 eggs, 200 grams of honey and some spelt flour. You can use just white flour if you don't have spelt flour. I might try this out because it looks really straightforward and you really don't need much to go in there. So I would love to see if anyone tries that out, and do share that on Dojo because they do sound very nice. The Romans were a big fan of honey. So yeah, let me know if you try that. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your Roman meals, and so you can draw the things on there. You could draw plates of food and show me what's on there, or you can write it out like a menu in a restaurant if you want. So a bit of flexibility there over how you do that, but I look forward to seeing some delicious sounding menus from you. So I will bring you some more science next week. Goodbye for now.